Ian, welcome back to RaithTV, our first post-Christmas interview. Hope it was a good break for you. How's things?
Yeah, it was. Nice to get a couple of days off, let us recharge, reset ourselves, and then look forward to our next sort of phase of games.
Before the kind of fun and the flow of our chat here today, on behalf of Raith Rovers supporters, for yourself, the staff and our board, thanks for deciding to extend your contract with us. Exciting times.
Yeah, it obviously works two ways. I'm delighted to be here, first and foremost. I've really enjoyed my time at Raith Rovers. Last year was difficult. I think that's been well documented, but that's in the past now, and we move forward. And this season has been a pleasure to be here and working with the guys that we have, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. Have been a tremendous help to me and giving me the tools to try and do the best we can. And that's, as a football manager, anywhere you go, that's all you can ask. Be given an opportunity, can be given a fair hit at it, which I have been. There's certainly no qualms for me in that department. I've been backed, not just with getting players in, but also with support staff around me. So great place to be at the moment. We're trying to keep building, we try to keep moving.
The fun reveal that was there for supporters on Christmas Eve, it kind of epitomises where we are as a club in many ways, doesn't it? The fact that we can drop our guard a wee bit, have a bit of fun, but just have a confidence in who we are. I've been given an envelope with a suggestion that you are up for awards from the Fife Association of Film and Television, but I have to say I think you'll miss out. Colin Cameron, sensational appearances, the Fifer that stole Christmas.
That's it, yeah. Look, again, it's like you say, our social media this season's different from most clubs, certainly different from ours last season. You either go one way or the other. You can go against it or you go and embrace it, and that's what it is, David. It's a bit of fun. It's to show people that we do have fun at our workplace, although we take it very seriously. We know at some point this season it might come back and bite us. We get that, but we're not going to get too hung up about that. We enjoy our victories, we enjoy the moments that we've done well in. Like every other football club, when things aren't going well, we take that hit and we move on with the disappointment.
Your own appearance, was it heavily scrutinised by your family and friends? I heard that you dropped drama at an early age at school, but
yeah, that wasn't my forte. I'm not sure what was at school, actually. Still looking to find that one out. Look, it also gives you, I know it sounds silly, but appreciation of what these people are doing. That's their job. They're actors, actresses, and it's very difficult. The minute that camera's on you, it's different from sitting here and talking about football and doing interviews. You've got to try and improvise and all that. But it was good fun. Took us a bit of time, a few outtakes pretty much. I'm sure there'll be a few going around in due course. But yeah, the bottom line was it was good fun. It was a different way to announce a contract signing, shall we say.
The footballing decisions always come way before the fun that we all kind of thoroughly enjoy. Talk to me a wee bit more about how you've been backed and what it is that gets the pen and the paper. I know your aspirations, but you touched on there the fact that you've been supported really strongly with as strong a backroom team as I can recall at Raith Rovers.
Yeah, it's been a huge group effort from all the staff that are helping me, and ultimately I'm heading it up, but I'm certainly not the one doing all the real hard work behind the scenes. It's coming from many angles and many people, be that from Andrew Barrowman to John Potter to Colin Cameron to Blair, Robbie Thompson as well, who's doing a dual role, very, very difficult. And like I say, they're making my job really, really enjoyable, really, really pleasurable. The new board of directors have backed us in terms of the football sense and trusted us, which is a huge thing in any walk of life, to be trusted with trying to make this football club better. And yeah, there's going to be mistakes. There's been mistakes, and there'll be more, and we have to realise that. And it's not a blame game. We all sit down as a collective and try and work out the best solution. It's a little bit, I try to relate it to like a game. During the game, we make decisions. They're not always going to be wonderful. They're not always going to be the correct ones, but we're just trying to find ways, problem solving every single day, but building something which is really important. It's, for me, it is about building something. My mantra, regardless of what club I'm at or I've been at, is forget the scorelines. It's, can I leave this place in a better situation than when I walked in? I think so far we're doing all right, but we're like the players. Once we get success, we want so much more.
You strike me as a manager and indeed a person that likes to kind of plot his own way forward. You're not adverse to taking risks. Is that kind of something that you see in the club, and is that part of what makes this a good marriage at this time?
Yeah, I think it's got to be calculated risks at certain times, and other times, spur of the moment impulse decisions are obviously made. For me, it's a game day. That's kind of, I wouldn't say impulse decisions, but that's your short term decisions. Long-term decisions are completely different. You know, we sit down and look at players we want to sign. We sit down and look at players that we want to try and re-sign. We sit down and look at where we can get better on the pitch. And I think in football, if you take things or you do things really quickly all the time, it won't work. There is times you have to do that. But other times it's a long game. So, you know, it's always a long game. We're ahead of where we thought we were going to be. We knew it was capable. We were prepared for this, but we're also prepared for not to be the case. But so far so good. We're really, really happy. Club's thriving at the moment. I think we see that with the amount of merchandise that's been sold now. A fantastic crowd there on the game against Ayr. So the crowds are going up. The attendances are going up in terms of people coming through the gates, and they're coming back, which is the hardest thing to do in any walk of life. Is you can get someone in, but how do you keep them? I think the players deserve a huge amount of credit for that in terms of the way that they're playing, but also the club deserves a huge amount of credit in terms of the incentives and the publicity they're trying to generate to get guys in.
Has the potential scale of what can be achieved here surprised you in terms of, as you say, supporters coming back in droves? You know, we've all got friends of 10, 15 years lapped support who are in the stand, who've got half-season tickets. Is there more potential within the community than you maybe first realised?
Probably is. I think I always knew Raith Rovers had a fantastic history and tradition, and Fife, Kirkcaldy is a hard-working industrial town, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We try to replicate that on the pitch. We try to work as hard as we can for these people. It's as simple as that's the minimum people want to see and people deserve. And I always think if you do that and you give everything you've got, people appreciate that. Football, as I say, it's not always going to go your way regardless of how hard you work, but you can't let your standards and your work ethic drop at any point, and I think this group of players certainly have that, and they also have a little bit of quality. We've tried to engage ourselves with the community again, help everybody around us, because as I said before, football is for supporters. It's as simple as that. If there's no supporters, there's not much football, because as I say, we saw that in COVID and it was a bit mundane for everybody and a wee bit different. So we try to do our best, you know, firstly for the football club, to make it a better place and a better club, but also the community for us is hugely important. We must engage with that, and we have done, and try and just make people feel a bit better.
I mean, you've got your own aspirations for the club, but for your own career, I was wondering how important it is that when you come to make that decision to sign on for a longer period, that you need to see that replicated in the stands. Otherwise you feel that you're kind of one person climbing a mountain. But you constantly say it's a team effort. Beyond the team in the park, it's the team in the office, it's the team down to volunteers, but you always come back to the community and the support that they seem to be buying into your aspirations as well. Yeah,
we've had tremendous backing since the minute I came in the door here. 18 months ago. It's never really wavered. It's just been added to this season, and I understand why people like to be associated with good things going on. But yeah, it's been a tremendous journey this season so far. That's for sure. For the supporters as well, we've had some very strange games and exciting games. And we are where we are at the moment. We're not sitting here thinking we're the best, but we're not sitting here thinking the job's done, because it's just started. We know how quickly this can change in football. There'll be a time where we're going to have a rocky patch, be that this season, next season, the season after, whenever that may be, like a real rocky patch, and that's when we'll see the true strength and spirit of what we're building.
Only 3 points as we sit here today off the total that we amassed for the whole of last season, and we've yet to hit the midway point. Is that trajectory this season surprised you in any way?
Like I said, I think we're ahead of where we thought we were going to be. I think if we were being realistic at the start of the season, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in with 26 competitive games now, and I keep going on because I'm always looking at our competitive streaks and all this sort of stuff. So I think if we sat here and said, look, if we'd said that in pre-season we've lost 2 at 26, both of them away from home, both by a goal, one of them against a top 6 Premier League team, we'd all probably be scratching our heads a little bit. We've had to be winning games in the league in particular to keep up with Dundee United, because they've done fantastically well also. Normally ourselves or United would be looking at one eye on how do we get that title won as quick as we can, but at the moment for us it's still very much let's eliminate that 5th place as quick as we can, and then once we eliminate 5th, let's try and eliminate 4th, and then we see where we are. There's a long way to go. There's going to be loads and loads of twists and turns for all teams in this league. We see it at the weekend there with the 5 draws in the league. That's how tight it can be. Different
challenges, I guess, faces now, and growing challenges week on week. supporters are great, but we want more, we want bigger, we want better, we want faster, we want clean sheets and a cricket score at the other end. What that does across the league is, firstly, people perk up their ears, but then it allows them to apply a target to their back. I guess 2 questions here. Do you think we're getting the respect that we're due, and are we ready for what's coming?
I think we are getting the respect that we've earned, and we reciprocate that back to other teams, because, like I said, we take our eye off the ball in this league, then forget it. It's good night, and we do that every single week, and the players show the utmost respect to the opposition. We're competitors at the end of the day. We all want to win. I think speaking to other managers, not just in this league, but in other leagues, they're pretty impressed with what we're doing. But again, it's plaudits are fine. You get them, through good times and bad times. It's about the end product. Our end product at the moment is looking pretty good, regardless of what happens in the second half of the season. But like you say, the players are very much like supporters. We want more all the time. We want to be better all the time. We want more points. We look at missed opportunities, perhaps. We think we should have more points. But like you say, our point total, we were 3 points off what we amassed last season, which for the boys in the dressing room, it's an incredible achievement. Absolutely.
You're always wholly positive at times when we triumph, and you also kind of maintain that at times when we don't meet our potential, because particularly in our first season there was some challenging times. Talk to me about how you keep balance. How do you keep moving forward?
I think you've just got to remind yourself sometimes of the bigger picture, and I think the game against Ayr is probably a really good one to look at, in terms of it's so close of happening. We're disappointed to have lost 4 goals in the game, 3 of them against 10 men. We're disappointed to drop 2 points at home, but the big picture is ultimately what it comes down to. I mean, we look, if you want to just take the top line of it, we're 5 points ahead at the top of the league, and that's a really, really good achievement. There's nothing we can do about any other games apart from our own. We've managed to turn a 9-point swing over Dundee United in the last 3 to 4 weeks. As I said, there's going to be loads and loads of twists and turns to go, but to be where we are at Christmas, going into the new year, you just have to remain balanced and be ready. You have to be ready for pretty much anything in football, and that's being a target, that's having a disappointment, and we have had disappointments this season. Airdrie away, it was a chance for us to really see what we were made of in terms of the mental approach of how do we handle losing a game that we didn't actually deserve to lose. We didn't play particularly well that day, but we didn't deserve to lose a game. And since that game, the boys have responded in incredible fashion. They've had a few injuries to cope with as well, and we've asked guys to work incredibly hard for us, and they've done it.
In football, joy needs to be grabbed because it can be short-lived. How are plans going for evolving the squad, for tying down contracts? We all loved the reveal, and I have to say one of the greatest compliments I've got is to the people involved in that for just keeping it under wraps. That's so difficult, but it gives you a buzz when this bombshell drops. How are things going in the more kind of general sense?
Yeah, fine. As well documented, I'm very happy with what we've got. We've got 2 sides of it now, though, because you never know who's going to come knocking on our door. Never mind us knocking on other people's door, because we've got some very talented young players in that dressing room who are destined for really, really good things, and we'd be foolish to think that people aren't watching them. As much as we're a team, individuals at the end of the day are the ones that get taken away from you. We've had some really good performances and performers this season. Look at, I'll just go again to the closest one at the moment, Louis Vaughan, top goal scorer in the league after his incredible injury journey, which is amazing. For him to do that and come back the way he's come back, I mean, that's just it's borderline ridiculous in what he's doing, and he's finishing. His headers the other night were just top drawer stuff. So we have to look at that. We have to be ready for that as well. It might never happen, but we have to be prepared, and we're always wanting to improve our own squad in terms of bringing the right guys in. But again, like the summer window, this is a slightly different transfer window. Obviously in January it's a wee bit shorter. The winter break doesn't really help us in any way, because Premier League teams kind of hold on to their players, and then they've got the Scottish Cup games, and a lot of teams are waiting to see how, or do they get through in that cup, because it's all about finances in this. So it's a bit of a rushed one this window. So I'm very happy with what we have. If we don't add anybody, then I'm not going to be sitting here complaining. If we do manage to add 1 or 2, the ones that we think are the right calibre of player but also the right quality of person, then brilliant.
I mean, all we can do is look you in the eye and look to see that there's trust there. You are happy with the contract negotiations. In the more generic sense, any news on the kind of horizon?
No, not really. I mean, we're not sitting on our hands, that's for sure, and you know, letting or twiddling our thumbs and letting everybody else jump ahead. We're always in contact with agents. We're always talking to our own players and seeing how they're feeling about things. And we're probably in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, you know, have real concrete stuff going on. Be that good or bad, we understand. You know, players are like everyone else. They've got options sometimes, and transparency, like I said earlier, is very key. Just be honest with us. We'll be honest with you. So far, it's working for us. Let's not spoil everything and upset things. But I think, as I say, the January window for me is not one that I'm hugely a big fan of, being that in terms of keeping players that we already have or adding players to our squad. But I think one of the biggest things, and compliments to the new board of directors and the new surroundings and environment that we're in, is the players are very happy. You know, I think we've seen that with certainly the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's been a real change in their mental side of it, in terms of, because it's been tough to pick a team, but the boys who've been left out, and it's not to say they're bad players, they've responded incredibly well. The guys that are coming off the park are sprinting off that park because, like I said, we're problem solving. We ain't doing it for any other reason to try and find a way back into that game.
As always, thanks for your time. Our football club seems to really be part of your DNA now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think, you know, it sometimes takes a bit longer, but I think I just think the sort of changes that we've had and the progress that we've had, I think that accelerates things on both sides for me as well. I mean, as I said, Dave, I'm loving it here. I really am. I'm buzzing to get into work every single morning and every night, and we're really close as staff, but we're also close with the team, the players as well. And again, it's not just about their football side, it's about other stuff that they've got going on, and the young guys, how can we help them? And you know, if you know, we've got a few young boys in the squad, but if they don't play for Raith Rovers, how can we help them go and play for somebody? Because they all want to play football, and that's all they know. So we're here to help them as much as we can. They're here to help us, because there's days that we need it as well.
To say thanks very much, Ian. We've loved the adrenaline surges. We are going to take what comes shoulder to shoulder with your team, and we're really glad that you're the manager taking us forward.
Thank you.